are so excited on ZoeTV today to be co-hosted by Ross Higgins.
Glad to be here.
It's not Kay, not as pretty as Kay.
No. Don't adjust your screen.
Don't adjust your screen. Kay has not outgrown. Kay, I'm sorry, you're not here to defend yourself. I think she's in Colorado.
That's good.
She's taking a little time with her family, which we all need at times.
Absolutely.
So that's good. But Ross, thanks for being with us, man. I know you have a busy schedule, and you've had to think way outside the box with COVID. We've had you on the show before and kind of talked to you about how you executed life. But I'm excited you're with us today.
Glad to be here.
We got a good show. We're going to talk about your world. We'll talk about Zoe life a little bit, and then we're going to do our resident of inspiration back. That segment's coming back. So we got a great first resident with that. But why don't you kick us out? Just tell us what's going on in the Ross world.
Well, things are different, and you residents, you know, we have had so many conversations on the most visually descriptive term I can use, the picture is right, is life on campus now is much like a faucet, kitchen sink. As things with COVID are good, we open it up a little bit. But the first sign that things don't look good, that's not necessarily even our numbers, because we've had this conversation of, if you're not wearing your mask, that's bad in my book. If you're not separating, that's bad in my book. That has nothing to do with COVID numbers. We have to turn it back down, you know. And so as things have gotten, I guess you'd say, better here in the last handful of weeks, we have taken the opportunity to open things up a little bit more. But it's nothing, nothing like what I've ever had to do before. I mean, you've been around me now how long?
2.5 years.
2.5 years?
Time flies, man.
Gosh.
Crazy.
Well, my whole role has always been, how large of a crowd can you gather? And what kind of space can you cram them into? And now that's really just had to flip viciously, where we can't gather the large crowd, but we still have the responsibility of executing certain things.
That's right.
And you know, we got Cruise Week coming up, and we have to take that one element and then slice it, much like pumpkin pie, and do it 3 times in a row so that we can get it done.
So to execute, you had to completely rethink how your entire programs are brought to the forefront. Because even no matter what level, if we're in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 of our offerings, you got to be ready at a moment's notice to be able to pull back and readjust. I mean,
well, like in your world, you know for a fact you have rock solid bread and butter things these are absolutes. This is the best. This is what the residents dig the most. Then you come down from there and you get the bottom stuff that is still good, but it's not, everybody's crazy about it. We look at a program now, like we have those 4 theme weeks of a year. Well, we used to cram so much into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We now have to back up and go, okay, whatever the best of the best is, that now is not just one thing we do one day. We might do it 3 times that day. And everything else has to shuffle. And if it doesn't make the cut, that means it was one of those things that was farther down the ladder.
Makes sense.
So for a season, this is the game we play. It's just the way it has to be, because there's no win in even like getting close to the edge over there. There's no win in that. The win is using the boundaries we've been given. In my opinion, step a little bit farther inside of that, just for precaution's sake, and do the job and do it even better than people think you're supposed to do it. And that's a good product.
And it's interesting dynamic for me personally, because we're always trying to think, and you too, of outside the box. How can we take a campus of 40 acres and think so far out, let's blow the box apart. Like we want to reinvent senior living, and this is what we go talk at conferences, and Glencroft needs to be the North Star of senior living and how we do life. Well, this is the one time I don't necessarily want to be on the outskirts really pushing the envelope. I want to, like you, be really adhering to guidelines and be safe about it, but life still has to go on. That's the fine line, right? We're
good that we even have a box, because in our box, the way you are watching this program right now, I'm assuming is going to be on Channel 4 to start out with. There are so many campuses that do not have internal TV networks. And they have been scurrying for the last 6 to 8 to 12 weeks figuring out how can we communicate with our people.
That's right. They're trying to play catch up.
Yes, they are. And I've told the residents so many times, we are so fortunate. You know, as we started doing live bingo in here on, because for you watching right now, we're not in the performance center, we're in the recording studio. This is where live bingo happens and trivia and everything else. We had problems with some of I mean, look, there is miles of cables and electronics, and it's not always the easiest thing to make something happen, but we at least have the opportunity to try to make it happen, where other places have not even the opportunity.
Absolutely.
So this Channel 4, if things tank again, trust me, you'll see Steve more and me more on all Channel 4 programming, because this is a great way for us to reach out, help do fitness at home, encouragement, motivation, fun, recreation.
Well, what we saw last week, and now with this second week of our university program, is our ability to take residents that are comfortable being in the classroom. Now, social distancing, adhering to those guidelines. We're spacing everybody out in the room, maxed out at 15. I mean, I can take 50 people in that room, but 15 of you guys spread out. But if you're not ready for that, how are we doing it? Channel 4, right? 4. And the ability to stream live instruction, whether the instructor is streaming themselves onto our television downstairs, and then we're taking that signal and throwing it on Channel 4, or they're doing it live. The ability to do that with our IT guys, I mean, we've been having these conversations. There's not any that I know of campuses able to execute a full-blown university curriculum in real time, touching on 900 residents.
There's a lot that didn't even have like a Channel 2 ability. That's just a scrolling slideshow. So we're very fortunate.
Yeah, we are.
And as we move forward, we can't swing too far one way where we want it all to be staring at a screen, because, as you know and I know, the danger of those walls in your units. They're 20 foot by 20 foot day one, but after day 90, they have become a 10 by 10. And then they become a 4 by 4, and it really can mess with your head, messes with your heart. It's just bad. And so I've always preached it for 6 years. Get up, get out, get busy. Told people, you're not leaving your apartment today? That's fine. Get up and get dressed, put your makeup on.
That's right.
Do laps inside your apartment. Get up and out of your chair 25 times every hour. You know, because we got to have balance. There's going to be the stay inside moments, and there's going to be, hey, we need you to get up and get out. We need you to be social. You need that interaction. You need to go back down to Steve if you haven't started back up and get back on the machines, because, as we all know, man, a little exercise, a little socialization is great for mind, body, and spirit.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that, and I've heard it talked about that the idea of social distancing isn't the words we like to use. Now, we're physically distancing and we're separating from others, but the idea of socially distancing, just a mental thought of that, it's like nails on the chalkboard for people like us, because we work so hard to get our residents socially active and engaging in the idea of ZoeLife, and engaging in the idea of building, pods and tribes within the tribe. In talking about social distance, it's hard. It's against everything that we're wired to create, right? Like, it's brutal. It's been a tough. Every time I see social distance, it's just like, it hurts. Yeah. So it's good conversation though, because we are in this real time, curve of we're up and then we're down, and we're up and we're down. But as you guys out there attend the university classes and put all these tools in your tool chest of knowledge and things that you can lean back on, both spiritually, physically, emotionally, when we do have to kind of condense down, then you lean on those things that you've learned, and you rely on those messages of like, okay, I know I have that backbone now and stability and a foundation that is really enhancing my spirit right now. And I think as we're in the real times of being able to go to university, Bible studies are starting back up. We're doing things with you and Cruise Week. Embrace those opportunities so that if we have to steer back in a little different direction, we can rely on those. Would you agree on that?
Absolutely. And it's, it all goes back to the day-to-day activities here on campus where we are controlling that knob, and we want to open it up more. That is, like he has said so many times, we are bent that way. We want to crank that knob open, and we want this campus to be beyond anything any other campus in the country has, okay? And it still will be. And technically it still is every day, because that's our heart, that's our mentality. We're just going to do it different right now. I love using the word season. You know, the desert really only has one season, in my opinion. It's hot and hotter. So I come from a place that had 4 seasons. And so I love to preach on seasons back in the day that, you know, no season lasts forever. It doesn't. And this won't. It won't.
Right. You're
you
right.
know, and it'll be a memory. It'll be stories that we tell. And I have a great friend of mine that lives on the coast down in Mobile, Alabama. And they just had Hurricane Sally knocked on the door this week. And when the hurricane's approaching, they do certain things. When the hurricane is there, they do certain things. When the hurricane is leaving, they do certain things. Well, that's what we have to do here. Is as we watch the storm, we have to make adjustments. And I think your Glencroft team across the board has done an amazing job.
I agree.
And I think we're very fortunate that not only we have the size teams that we have here, but we have the depth of teams that we have here. It's good to have big teams. It's good to have them deep. But then when you deal with the quality of people on those teams, people that really love you and they genuinely care. I know for a fact the man that sits next to me, he's not just doing a job. He's not. He sincerely cares about you individually. He cares about your health. He cares about your well-being. That's why he works so hard. He could work way less and still make good money, but it's because of how he cares that the program that he leads is different. And it affects all of us, not just the residents, but all of us in such a good way. And he's not the only one on this campus. There's so many amazing staff members that have the best hearts, doing the best job they can for all of the right reasons. And that is one of the things, honestly, that makes Glencroft what it is.
Yeah, I don't think you would want to work for a paycheck in an environment like this if you get talking to our residents, because their emotional, physical, everything about them is contagious. You give them a little nugget to thrive and try to do better and want. It's like little kids, like I want more, they're like little sponges. And I think as a staff, we embrace that. And it's like, well, what else could we do for them? Let's think outside the box. Like, let's get in a room and figure out a way to blow these guys out of the water. And that's the lens we look at everything through. How can we as activities, how can we as ZoeLife and our culture and dining services, how can we collaborate to blow you guys out of the water? And I think, I appreciate your comments, but it's true. It's, you know, to me, I've always looked at Glencroft as a 5-star resort, and we want to wow you guys. We want to create programs and opportunities that you would want to be on vacation living here. And we talked before is we work in your backyard, right? We're like, when we drive into work every day, we're sneaking in the back door and we are
eating at your dining room table.
Yeah, so we have to be good stewards of that relationship. And
there's responsibility there. There's respect.
It's an amazing back and forth with so many of our residents, and that's what's we're all building on throughout this crazy COVID time, man.
Good word, building. We're building something new.
Yeah.
Something that has, early on when the COVID stuff started blowing up on this campus, I talked to so many residents that are like, I said, so this is not new to you. You've lived, 80 years, 90 years. Like, never in my lifetime have we ever seen anything like this. Even 90 years old people, no. This is new to all of us. And so we are building. We're building something new. And Lord willing, it never comes around again, but we're going to learn from it. We're going to grow in it, grow with it, and I think we're all better for it.
I agree. I absolutely agree. Yeah. All right, well, we are off to the next segment. We are going to introduce our resident of inspiration. I am so excited. It's all good, Ross. But Julie Gerke, I'm gonna frame it, is an amazing person, and we're gonna have a great time talking to her. So Ross, buckle up, man. We got a couple of crazy interviews coming our way.
Let's do it.
We are so excited to bring back this segment of the Resident of Inspiration. And to my right, has been with us all show, we have Ross, who is welcoming our Resident of Inspiration. And we've been talking off camera. We have all sorts of names for this lovely lady.
We do. She's a campus legend, that's for sure.
Campus legend. So, and she's not immune to playing bingo with you guys.
Bingo, bingo, bingo. She is not anybody out there in bingo land. You know the name Julie of the Gerke, or even Tip Top Trivia.
Ooh.
You don't know this, but you guys play every Saturday or
Well, we used to do every Saturday. Now it's just once a month.
And it's global.
Ooh.
They have family around the world, and so they all come in and play trivia together once a month, and it's serious stuff. And so they play trivia. You know, she does, her parents do. It's good stuff.
Man, that's very cool.
My mom and my husband.
Yes.
But you've been throughout COVID in the experience, because I know we've talked about trying to branch off and use different platforms to keep everybody communicating. And using Zoom and using all the technology that's out there, have you seen your family like doing that kind of stuff really absorb that and take that on?
Oh yeah, it's really been helpful, because even like the family we play with around the world, and of course my daughter and her fiance are in Madrid, and then a lot of it's his family in Great Britain and Australia. So we've gotten to know them, and we had never met them before. We haven't met them in person yet. So, cool. And then doing that with our church and different things. So yeah.
Well, I know we had talked early in COVID, and it probably still holds true that our residents, everybody's learning in real time how to do this, technology stuff. And you were quick right at the beginning saying, if anybody needs help, I can help figure out how to put 12 people on your screen. And I think our staff needs help with that sometimes. I still think people don't know the mute's on, and we try to do our meetings.
Oh, yes we do. And yes we have, and yes we will.
But you're still out there, right? If people bump into you and like, help me, you're available.
I'm in the directory. If you need help, call me.
Oh, that's super nice. Well, that's why we started talking, and you became our choice to restart this program and Resident of Inspiration, because I've seen you interact down in the Performance Center. I watch you with your mom and really being her advocate on campus for wellness, but then absorbing everything we're trying to do for yourself. And then you brought your daughter over to campus, and I've just seen you in action touch on so many lives. And whether you're calling our team and saying, hey, can you come over to our court and teach our court some balanced things to do at home during COVID? And Gerald ran over and worked with you and you guys. But that's amazing.
Oh, thanks. I feel like that's, as a follower of Christ, that's what I'm supposed to do. I mean, I was raised that way anyway. My family taught me that. But even more so, Christ, I think we're just supposed to reach out and be a help to one another.
Well, if ever there's a time, this type of life we're living now on campus is something that, honestly, even as I have talked to the residents, they have never had to live before. And so it is all new, it is all different, and it most definitely is difficult. And so if ever there is a time to truly reach out and touch someone, we are living those days now. And I know, as you have seen, I have seen, you have seen, when fear and worry and concern settles in, it can take you to dark places. And so having the Zoom calls around the world, or even around your court, reaching out and touching somebody. So what you're doing makes it different, and what you're doing, we would like other people to model, because if our campus creates that kind of culture, it's going to be even more of an amazing place to live.
And it's contagious, right? So I mean, what you're able to do with others in your court, like you just said, snowballs across the campus. And we've seen it when we had the Performance Center come back to fruition, and we got people miss that connection so much. And even if it's for a week, 10 days, 2 months, whatever it is, what you're kind of instilling in your little pod over there, like Ross said, is our goal for the campus as a whole. So we appreciate you, and you're our resident of inspiration to re-kick this off. We had a couple weeks hiatus, but as always, your turn now, and that's the fun part. I know you're humble and you don't want to be bragged on, but we like bragging on you. But I think the idea now that you get to nominate is the fun part for us to hear who has affected you. Who have you seen on campus that are affecting others? And where this train goes starts now.
Well, from day one, before we even moved in here, and for years my parents were here, and then just my mom, and the people that I have been in touch with all along have encouraged me, and even more so since we've come here. And just, they're encouragers, they're helpers, it's Hal and Nancy Valora. I mean, I just can't say enough about them, and they're just there for you, for everybody. And it's just, they always want to help. They want to do. They feel. I mean, we've talked a lot, and again, it's following Christ. We talk about that a lot, and they're very inspirational now. They're very godly. We like to study the Word together. It's just, but that's what we're supposed to do, and they live that. They don't just say it, they live it.
Walk the walk.
Salt of the earth, good people.
Yeah, I think everybody on this campus, and I know everybody up here has a story of them and how they've inspired. And I mean, just a quick one on mine. And Hal found out that my son plays high school football, and he was quick to reach out to me, and because I had said that Braden is relatively thin and slender and built like a golfer, like his dad, and he's trying to play high school football. And Hal pulled me aside and spent 30 minutes with me, just uplifting me as a father of, be there for your son.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you encouragement, but everything was under a context of biblical speak, and this is from the Lord, and this isn't because I want rah-rah football.
Right.
This is what we are guided to do. And so I think, like you said, it's the lens they live life through, but it touches on all of us, which is special. So
Good people.
yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to enjoy having them on the show. I know Kay is going to be excited to interview them because, you know, and we talked before about that might be your nominee, and I said, everyone that we've had on do Resident Inspiration, their names have come up, but they're like, well, somebody will get to that, and they have yet, and I'm like, but they're always like, I want to do them, but I'm going to get somebody sneaky, and then Alan, they've been kind of like pushed, so I'm excited they're finally going to be on with us. So, Julie, thanks for being on here. We really appreciate what you do.
Absolutely. Job well done.
Thank
And
you.
keep up the bingo, right?
No, let somebody else win.
Thanks, Julie. Thanks, guys. What a show, man, Ross. I mean, not Kay, but I just enjoy hanging with this guy.
Not Kay.
You and I are both busy in mutual opposite directions a lot of the time, so man, it's fun to spend a little time with you.
It's good.
I always enjoy our conversations, but I look back at that Julie Gerke interview, and I think, you know, Julie is the face of what this campus should be, where we're going through something dramatic and traumatic. And Julie is boots on the ground, under the radar, like just helping people without trying to be the poster child for doing so. Like you wouldn't know she's even doing it until you talk to so many residents like, oh, Julie's helping me with that, or she's helping me with this. So I think that interview was special.
That's solid. You know, when people choose to care, seldom is it invisible. Seldom is it invisible.
Was that on a fortune cookie? I feel like
Should be.
did you make that up? Or,
Should be.
I know you like making T-shirts.
Write that one down.
I mean, what was it again? I feel like Mr. Miyagi. Do it again. Do it again. What? Can you even say it again?
Probably not. You know.
Oh my goodness.
I think when people choose to care, seldom is it invisible.
I love it.
You know, and it's just, I mean, think about it. And the good thing is this: she is one of actually many.
Sure.
Okay, because when you go through the resident Rolodex of the brain right there and you see them, there is so many people that day in and, I mean, I don't know. I am 50 and I know I am way tireder than I need to be at 50. They are still 90-year-old people out here. And they're getting it done, and they are loving people, and they are caring for people. They have taken on their whole hallway, their whole court, the whole
became
whatever.
their purpose and direction.
Yeah.
Living in this environment, in this time,
they care.
that
They're
became
doing
their
it.
purpose.
Yeah, and so it's just we are so fortunate.
Yeah, we really are.
as staff, we resident pool, so fortunate that we're getting to live this season here at Glencroft all together, doing what we're doing. And so Julie, honestly, she is amazing, and she is one of many.
And we get to meet more of them
Absolutely.
next week.
Absolutely.
And we are excited to see Hal and Nancy come on, and I am excited to see who they nominate, because I know
Good
they
stuff.
have the same energy and level of touching on everybody
Yes.
and vice versa. So
people.
I enjoyed that. Ross, I enjoyed hearing about activities. Kind of closing out here, is there anything you want our residents to know?
Well, as
going
this
in?
is airing, we're in the middle of cruise week, and so it's hopefully all going well. Right around the corner, you know, a lot of you like that crazy Pinewood Derby car race. Who thought that people would go crazy over a 5-inch piece of wood and wheels and plastic? But it is madness. Well, that's going to be turned into a week-long experience, multiple things dealing with racing and things like that, and that'll be coming up at the end of October. So literally just around the corner, we got some great stuff coming.
And the end of October will provide better weather.
Yes.
A cooling, a sense of like, And so along comes with the good weather is a program program that we started and implemented throughout the crazy heat of the summer, and that's our, mile marker challenge and our walking, and all of that is evolving. So there's so much more to come on that. But we've been talking about creating teams and all of these different ways to entice people to get out and move. And I think the Pinewood Derby, we were just talking off camera, is going to be a good opportunity. Maybe combine forces of a car and a walk, and how we can create. I mean, there's a lot of potential.
You don't always have to have wheels to race.
Oh, I love that. Well, Ross, we've had a good time.
Yeah.
Every good thing needs to come to an end. And unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, this episode is concluding. So Ross, I thank you. We hope that everybody out there has enjoyed our first 2 weeks of Glencroft University. We've been live. We've been on Channel 4. We've got the hotline working like you do with Bingo. We're facilitating questions. And it's been a great attempt to bridge this gap for people. So
good stuff.
if you have any comments or questions or concerns on that, please reach out to me. Other than that, Ross, again, good hanging with you.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next time on ZoeTV.
Let's go find that Cool Whip.
Woo.